So in this whole journey of like starting with BSc and then coming to IISER Bhopal and being a faculty there, did you face any specific problems just because you were a woman in science?
Because I was a woman in science. I think more so, as a faculty than I would say than anywhere else. Because interesting, this is something very interesting and unique about ecology, by the way, ecology and evolution, that there are so many women, and it's so contrasting because ecology and evolution requires, especially ecology, requires you to be a field biologist, which means you're trampling through the forest, wearing boots and, middle of the night if you're working with bats, and yet you'll find women, a lot of them. And so when I went for, even when I was doing my project in CES, my lab was quite female dominated. CS itself had a lot of women students and female students and women faculties. And so, and then this ATB conference that I said, a lot of big shots there where women have been women. Interestingly, I didn't specifically face anything that was women because I was in that field of ecology. It was the same as any other woman. Like I often say that, the problems I faced is the same problem that a woman in bank will face, in the sense that, if you're a mother, you want to be back at home by 5:30, which a guy doesn't have, and if you're a woman, you are planning to get married and have a family, you will take that 6-month maternity leave. But 6 months is not enough for a woman, obviously, because the child is still 6-month-old baby. So you need really 2 years break, which is what Europe has, is a very long extended break for women to recover if you're starting a family. And so, but those problems are not unique to me and science. It's unique to every woman who's working in any industry or in any field for that matter, government or private. I luckily, again, in ecology, I've never faced this. I've worked with bats, I've worked with nocturnal plants, animals. My students have worked, Preeti, who just graduated, she's worked with, the plants that I work are open at night. And so they work on these nocturnal plants. They've never complained. I mean, again, nothing different. In fact, I have to say, in some ways in ecology, being a woman helps, because if you're in the forest and you're studying something in the night and, if the forestry or someone comes, or let's say the army, if you're working in the northeast, they're on patrols, they come and they see that you're women, they actually go easy on you because, they suspect us less. Thankfully, and the male members in my lab do get more suspected on, and especially certain phenotype profiles that they have. So in that sense, I have to say it's often times that I don't allow my male students to work alone. I prefer that there's a girl with the male student, and so I arrange the fieldwork such that there's a male and female sort of some balance when they do fieldwork, just to keep everyone safe. But the discriminations are really more on a professional level. That is, like I said, that the awards stop at 40. But then if you start a family at 35 and you've taken 2 years break or 1 year break, then you don't have anything to show as a performance. And then you're expecting all these awards and anything are expecting the same number of papers. And the argument that I've been hearing from men, especially who don't understand the situation, is that, well, we can't lower the science bar. And I said, there is no science bar. You set up that bar. The bar was set up by men. So I refuse to acknowledge that bar. So you cannot tell me quality is what you're going for. And quality is a word that I really, really dislike, in science particularly. Because who decides quality? Right? It's a whole Pandora's box if you use this. And yet we use quality of work. And metrics like, the H index or whatever index you use. Who decides this? Right? And why you want to use a metric of this kind? I understand that you, at some point, you want to, compare faculties. I understand that. But form a committee and discuss it out. But when you make it absolute numbers, which I think no one uses still, but it's used as a front, to support one person or the other. And I just find this very difficult. And that's very discriminatory, because then you have a metric for you need X number of papers and X number of H index, whatever, journals.
I think as students, we are told to use that to judge professors to whom to apply to. I think
you can judge if you want to use it. If that's the kind of faculty you want to become, nothing again wrong with it. If I have seen extremely ambitious. See, remember, I was a student back back
like
in the
we
days,
have been
right?
told with our seniors like कि अच्छा तुमको देखना है कि कौन अच्छा है, go check their H index and ID index. And they like it's like getting transferred from.
Yes, exactly. So that, I mean, this is just the issue we have in our academic system. I don't know how else to say.